Good morning, Bulldogs. Today, we are going to be labeling a poem. On Tuesday, we started poetry. We went over some of the elements of poetry, and we started talking about some of those key elements, like a stanza or a line. So today, we are going to take a poem, and we're going to label it. Now, I am going to do a kind of a demo poem, if you will. I'm going to give you an example, and we're going to go through it together in this video, and we're going to label the parts that I expect you to label on your own poem. Okay? Then for yours, you actually have some questions. They're just comprehension questions. Basically, do you understand what the poem is saying? It's not always the most important thing to read the poem, but you need to understand what the poet is trying to convey. So I'm going to share with you the poem that I have, if I can, my computer to cooperate. We all know it's a constant struggle. Okay, so sharing screen. Okay, so I have A Bird Came Down the Walk. This is a poem by Emily Dickinson. Your poem that I give to you will look a lot like this. I will have already formatted it for you so that you can put your line number over here and your rhyme scheme over here. Okay, so A Bird Came Down the Walk by Emily Dickinson. First, I want to read it straight through to see basically what it's talking about, and then I'm going to go back and label it, kind of like what I'm sure you guys have been taught to do for your reading passages. You read it through first, then you go back and annotate. So, a bird came down the walk. He did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in halves and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass, and then hopped sidewise to the wall to let a beetle pass. He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all around. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. He stirred his velvet head. Like one in danger, cautious, I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rode in softer home. Then oars divide the ocean, two silver for a scene, or butterflies off banks of noon, leap plashless as they swim. Wow, that is a lengthy poem, not the longest that you're ever going to see. But now we can go back, and we're going to start by seeing what my line number is. So this is my first line. I'm going to put a 1 there. Okay. This is my second line. I'm going to put a 2 there. Okay. 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, notice that it skipped a line right here in the middle. I don't count that line. I'm only looking at the lines of text. Okay, so now I'm on line 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whoopsies, and 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 lines. Now, how many stanzas do I have? Well, if you have seen from the video that I've included, the stanzas are usually separated by a gap. There's usually an extra line there. So I can go up back to the top here. I have 4 lines, and then I have this gap. So that must mean these 4 lines are my first stanza. Okay, so out to the side over here, let's see. 1 second. Apologize, we've got a football game going on, or will be going on. So we have our first stanza here, then we have our gap. The second set of lines, we have, I have another gap right here. So lines 5 through 8 gives me another stanza. That is my second stanza. Okay, scrolling down, I have another 4 lines and another large gap. So that's going to be my third stanza. Okay. Then I have another 4 lines and another large gap. So that is my fourth stanza. And then I have another 4 lines in the end of my poem. So that makes it my fifth stanza. So I've numbered my lines and I've labeled my stanzas. Now I'm ready to go in and label my rhyme scheme. Okay. So remember how we did our rhyme scheme? We have, what is the last sound of the first line? Walk. That's going to be an A. No, I saw. Does saw rhyme with walk? No. So that's going to be a B. He bit an angleworm in halves. Does halves rhyme with walk? No. Does it rhyme with saw? No. So that's going to be a C. And ate the fellow raw. Does raw rhyme with walk? No. Does raw rhyme with saw? Yes. Well, I put a B on saw, so I'm going to go back and put another B there. Okay. Scooting myself down here. He drank a dew. Okay. Does do rhyme with walk, saw, or halves? No. So that's going to be an E. Convenient grass. Does grass rhyme with walk, saw, halves, or raw? No, it does not. That's going to be an F. Okay. And then hop sideways to the wall. Does wall rhyme with walk, saw, halves, do, or grass? No. So that's going to be a G. To let a beetle pass. Does pass rhyme with walk? No. Saw? No. Halves? No. Do? No. Grass? Yes. I put an F on grass, so I'm going to put an F here. Now, when you are labeling a rhyme scheme of a poem, sometimes it will go all the way in alphabetical order like that. Sometimes you might see it just go back to A at the beginning of each new stanza. Okay? So, and it depends on who's labeling it. It really does. So if I give you a poem that is already labeled, you could see it either way. So you need to know what they look like. So if I didn't go from, oopsies, that was supposed to be D anyway. If I didn't go from, let's back up and take all the F, E, F, G off and start with just A at the very beginning again. I would have A. Did grass rhyme with do? No. Did wall rhyme with do? No. Did wall rhyme with grass? No. So that's going to be a C. To let a beetle pass. Does pass rhyme with do? No. Does pass rhyme with grass? Yes. B. Okay. So do you see the repetition there? It looks A, B, C, B. Okay. So let's see if the rhyme scheme continues with the rest of my poem. He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all around. Does around rhyme with eyes? No. They look like frightened beads, I thought. Does thought rhyme with eyes? No. Around? No. See. He stirred his velvet head. Does head rhyme with eyes? No. Around? No. Thought? No. So I'm going to put a D here. That's a new rhyme. Okay. Like one in danger, cautious. Let's see. So hey there. I offered him a crumb. Does crumb rhyme with cautious? No. And he unrolled his feathers. Does feathers rhyme with cautious? No. Does feathers rhyme with crumb? No. And rode him softer home. Does home rhyme with cautious? No. Crumb? No. Feathers? No. So I'm going to put my D all by itself again. Okay. Then oars divide the ocean. So I'm going to start with my A again. 2 silver for a seam. Does seam rhyme with ocean? No, it does not. 4 butterflies of banks of noon. Does noon rhyme with ocean? No. Or seam? No. So I'm going to put a C. Leap plashless as they swim. Does swim rhyme with ocean? No. Does swim rhyme with seam? No. Does swim rhyme with noon? No. So it's going to have a D. Okay. So some of your poems that you're going to see are going to have rhyme schemes that differ from one stanza to another. This is completely okay as long as you understand that rhyme scheme. Okay, so I'm looking at my poem here and I have labeled it. So I'm almost done. Now, if this were the copy I send to you, you're going to have questions that go with this. Okay, so let's see. What is being seen by the poet? What is the poet describing having being seen? Are we talking about a bird? Are we talking about a worm? Or are we talking about a beetle, maybe? What are we talking about? Okay, that is where we're going to look at it and see if we can't identify what we're talking about. So what are we saying? We're looking at a bird. Okay, let's see. How many different types of rhyme schemes do I have? Okay, well, that's where I'm going to go back to my stanza 1. Stanza 1 and 2 have the same scheme, A, B, C, B. And then my 3rd, 4th, and 5th have A, B, C, D. Okay. So what I want you to do is this is attached so that you can see it. It's going to be on the assignment page just as something for you to see. Let's see. This is going to be included on your assignments page. There is nothing you need to do with this. In fact, you won't be able to do anything with it other than see it. It is going to be there as an example piece only. Then there will also be a link for your poem, that not one that you have to write, one you are going to edit yourself. Or not edit, you're going to label it. Remember, labeling the line numbers, labeling the rhyme scheme, and labeling how many stanzas there are. Then you're going to have some questions with it. Okay, so as you work through this, if you come into any complications or have any questions, send me an email and we will get through this. And this can be a lot of fun. I know poetry can be kind of stressful, difficult, kind of boring, but we need to get through it. And we can find that it can be fun and it can make us laugh a lot. So I wish you guys some luck. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or send me a phone call. Okay? All right. Hope you guys have a great day and have a good night.